Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about The Devil's Diary. So this is a movie, a horror movie, a Canadian horror movie that came out in 2007. I watched this many years ago on YouTube, and actually you can still find it on YouTube today. Now in America, it came out on Lifetime. And I remember I watched this movie because a while back I became a fan of Alice Johnson. She took over for what's her name? The Fiona character in So Weird back on Disney Channel. And I remember I saw her playing Saturn Girl on Smallville. And so like I was curious to see what else she had done. She had did this movie and another movie. Now, she does act, but she's primarily a singer. And the other movie I might talk about as well. And so I remember I watched this years ago around October, and I was very intrigued. And like, this was a very, very, very good movie. And it's basically a indie like TV movie and stuff. And what's insane is that this is better than most theatrical movies. This is better than most theatrical horror remakes and stuff. And this movie is very good. Now, think of this as Freaks and Geeks meets the American adaptation of Death Note. You know, the one that came out on Netflix years ago. It's kind of like that. The anime Death Note is so good. I have to talk about that one day. But anyway, I forgot I actually had that on DVD. I have to watch that. I watched it years ago, and then I've never watched it again just because I ran out of time and I have it on DVD. And yeah, anyway, so this is very, 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 very disturbing and everything. It's solid from beginning to end. And like, it also stars the dude who played Leo in Charmed, Brian Krause, I think his name is. And you know, the premise of this movie deals with two teenage girls. They're in a graveyard, and one of them likes to prank the other one. One's named Dominic, and one name's Ursula. Dominic has a dead father. She's very eccentric, very outgoing. Kind of like, you know, in her own kind of world kind of thing. A little bit of a rebel. And Ursula gets picked on a lot. Well, you know, Dominic gets picked on as well, but Ursula even worse. And Ursula is like very shy, very timid, stuff like that. And, you know, a little bit nerdy. And so as they're leaving from like the cemetery, lightning strikes a tombstone. And all of a sudden a book appears out of nowhere. It's just a little journal thing. It has no writing on it whatsoever, not even the title of it. And so Ursula picks it up and she's all like, maybe this was destiny for me to find it. She's acting kind of weird. And she's just scrolling through the thing and there's no words on none of the pages except for the first one. Talking about whoever writes in this book shall have like ultimate power or some crap like that. And so like basically when she's at school and everything, they're getting picked on by like, you know, the cheerleaders and the jocks, and they get picked on very, very, very badly. So one day, Ursula, all like by herself and like, you know, just like upset, decides she's gonna write in the diary because she's never did the whole Dear Diary thing. Well, she starts writing down what she hates, and what she hates is that of Heather, the main cheerleader girl. And she wishes that like Heather will break both her legs. Well, one day at school and everything, Heather's like, you know, being a butthead, and all of a sudden she's standing around and the car spins out of control and crushes into her. Crushes into her legs, breaking them. Well, it actually breaks one. It doesn't break the other one, but it bruises the other one up pretty bad. Ursula is very shocked and surprised to see this and realizes, holy crap, whatever I write in this book can come true. And so she tells Dominic that. Dominic's all like, oh yeah, prove it. Give me like big boobs and everything. Well, that don't work for some reason. And so then she writes down that like this boy, Heather's boyfriend or whatever, gets like injured or some crap like that. I forget exactly how she wants him to get injured, but he ends up getting injured badly. And so now Dominic truly believes this. And so basically, it's whatever you write in the book comes true and bad stuff. You have to stop and imagine if this was real, would you do it? You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, would you cause so much pain to people you don't like? Most likely you would. Especially if you got picked on and everything. And but of course, with this power comes that of a price. And so basically, Heather's trying so badly to get the book away from Ursula, talking about like, it's changing you and stuff. It's making you do bad things. Ursula's skin is turning gray. She looks very disturbed. She looks very demonic almost, but her human looking state. And she's getting darker and darker. It's the book. It's changing her. The power is changing her. It's making her more sinister and everything and very paranoid. Well, one of the cheerleader girls that's friends with the other cheerleader girl hears this and tells her. So they find a way to steal, like, the book. And so they do. And when this happens, of course, Ursula is like freaking out. Well, the cheerleaders don't necessarily believe it's like will work. Well, one of the cheerleader girls is all like, we should keep it for ourselves, blah, blah, blah. But no, the head cheerleader girl wants it. So she's all like, just right in there that, I don't know, like Ursula's hair and teeth falls out and she's choking on her vomit. Well, before even this could happen, Dominic is very worried and stuff, who wouldn't be, because she sees how sinister her friend was acting. So she goes to the church near the cemetery and talks to the pastor. That's played by Brian. And, he tells her, this is like really serious. He's going to call in, get like another pastor to help him. This other pastor that comes, and the other pastor's all like, I have studied this book many years, and it's the book of the devil, like his diary and stuff. And basically, like, they're telling her, like, they have to get it from Ursula before it falls in worse hands that would do worse to the book. Well, that is true. By the time she gets to like Ursula's hair is falling out. It's very disturbing. Her teeth are falling out with blood. Then she just throws up in the air. It is disgusting. She runs to the bathroom. We don't get to see her throw up no more, but she's like, you can hear it. And it's the worst sound ever. But all her friends have shown up at the house worried and stuff. And the boys are kind of like scared. They can't open the bathroom door. It's shut on its own. She's throwing up even more and more and more. Then she starts choking on it and she dies. The door opens by itself. And when they go inside to investigate, my God, you guys, you guys, you guys, all that vomit is all on the floor, all on the toilet seat, all over everywhere. It is disgusting looking. I'm like, ugh. It's all these yellow chunks on it. Oh, it's all over her mouth, her clothes. She's dead. So now, even more freaked out, Dominic knows she has to do something. She goes back to the pastors, tell them, she thinks the cheerleaders has the book, and that the cheerleaders are really, really mean and stuff. Well, the one cheerleader girl that has it, she wants the power. She is apparently more, she's just as dark as the Heather girl and everything. Heather knows she has the book and she wants it. Well, of course, this kind of shocked me because I assumed by watching this movie, Ursula was going to keep writing in the book. You feel like you can predict it. So you assume Ursula's going to keep writing in the book. You assume she's going to keep doing bad stuff. You're going to assume Dominic's going to try to stop her. But no, they took out Ursula halfway into the movie. And so, like, you're just like, holy crap, well, what's gonna happen now? Like, they took out the girl you assume is gonna be doing all the bad stuff. Well, it's kind of like hot potato almost. So, like, the other girl that has, like, the book, she wants to be the most popular girl ever, where all the guys should throw themselves at her. She goes to school. All the guys are literally fighting over her. Basically, the book only lets bad stuff happens. It made her the most popular because guys will fist fight over her. Well, after that, it's basically her other cheerleader friend goes to like the outcast people, which is Dominic and her friends, and ask for their help. So they devise a way to get the book back and stuff. Well, the cheerleader girl makes Dominic's two guy friends make out, and they make out too. And so like it's like there's a weird cat fight between the two cheerleader girls, and then they make the other nerdy girl Effie like grab the book and run with it. So it's like a chase now, and the cheerleader girl wrote something in the book before they came and got the book from her. Well, the cheerleader who turned good died from like something falling on her and electrocuting her. And so then she's chasing after the nerdy girl Effie. Effie is scared, like pissless and everything. And so she finds Dominic, gives her the book. Um, the hot cheerleader girl chokes the crap out of Effie. And then Dominic makes her stop by saying, "You want the book? Come after me." So she runs off. But then she runs outside and she's kind of like in the courtyard and there's no way to get out of it. She ran into the wrong place. I don't know where everybody else at school. They left for some reason. So then, um, the cheerleader girl's like, "Give me that book," and everything like that, because she's very possessed by it. And then the two boys come and she orders them to kill their friend Dominic and stuff. Something strange happens as they're about to like hurt Dominic. Dominic just starts ripping pages out the book. Now this is what's interesting about the book. Whoever is the new person who holds it, all the pages are blank. So people assume, well, where's the writing in it? Because people are doing bad demonic stuff, but it just disappears with a new person. So she starts ripping pages out the book. And the cheerleader girl is holding on to her stomach, cramping and stuff. It's like something's being ripped inside of her. Then Dominic takes the book and she throws it against the wall. The cheerleader girl flies in the air and crashes into the wall, snapping her neck, killing her. You're literally tethered to the book, like your soul and everything. So Dominic takes it home right before she gives it to the pastors. I don't know why she just didn't give it to the pastor. She goes home. She has a stepfather. Her mom had to start stripping and everything to pay bills, and the stepfather just stays home and he's very abusive. He tries to assault that of Dominic. Dominic has to fight him off like as best as she can, and she takes and then so she pretends that she wants some, only to take the book and whack him with it. Then she writes in the book really fast as she's trying to hide, like, "I hope my stepfather die." And boom, he takes some scissors and he runs them in his neck. And so now she's possessed by the book and she's worried because she goes to the pastors finally. And the one played by Brian, he can tell that she's used the book because of how disturbed she looked. So then the other pastor comes in and they all like give him the book, blah, 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 stuff like that. She doesn't want to, because when you have the book, you don't want to give it up. Well, they give it to the other pastor dude. Turns out he's evil. You can see that coming a mile away. He is the one who is so evil that the book can literally bond to him and do magical crap. This is when the CGI stuff starts happening. He uses the book. He takes two big spikes and he runs them into the good pastor's hand, pinning him like Jesus being nailed to a cross type thing. Then he takes Dominic and throws her up against the wall with his power. Then, like, he's telling Dominic, "Join me," and everything. "I can tell you're just like me," and blah, 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 stuff like that. She tricks him by grabbing onto one of the metal spikes, and she runs it through, like, the book. This caused, like, a fiery explosion. The pastor, the bad one, rips into flames and everything, and he dies. 6 weeks later, it should have just ended after that, but 6 weeks later, we see what happens to Dominic. She's in a mental institute. She is worried. She has lost her mind. She's terrified of the book because there's no way to destroy the book and everything. So one thing she did was she buried it in the cemetery. So when her mom goes to visit her, she's scribbling all on paper, but very demonic looking drawings and stuff. And her mom tells her, "Why are you doing this? Don't you want to get out of this place?" She's literally possessed by the book. So then two random boys, they find the book in the cemetery. They found like a little piece of it like coming out the ground. So they grabbed it and just took off, and it ends. And I don't know how I feel about the ending. It should have just ended with the fiery explosion. Because with the way they set it up, make it seem like there's going to be a sequel. Well, there was never a sequel. But my God, you have to watch this movie on YouTube. It is very, very, very good and disturbing. And, I remember there's this one Canadian slasher show called Slasher that's extremely good. And it's like, this is a cool way to do horror and everything. And, there isn't much CGI, so it doesn't look that bad. And then when there is CGI, it looks pretty cool. It's like very disturbing, like it's suspenseful. And, it's just a cool horror movie. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.